Hello, and welcome to a very nice and sunny Blackwood circuit here for round 2 of the NDR GT World Series for another 6-hour race, which will turn out to be more like a 6-hour sprint. My name is Dominik Engel, and I'll be, with you for hopefully all of the evening to guide you through the race and whatever happens in it. Blackwood GP circuit reverse today. Round 2 of 5 on the calendar. 25 points as a normal round race. No extra points are only given for pole and the highest climber in class. And, before we start with anything specific, how about we look at, the points, from the first round. We've only had the first round, obviously, this being the second one. We all can count. And on top in the GT1 class, it is My Free ID Gaming with a grand total of 36 points, counting in the attendance bonus of 10. They are not here this weekend. Then it's Conquest Racing, number 7 car with the XR. Genuine Racing, number 9 in P3 on 26 points, they're already 10 back. And it's Team Virus number 2 XR, who are also not here this weekend. Conquest Racing's second entry, the FZR number 8, is in 5th place, followed by Infinity Esports in 6th place. 7th is M5S Racing, followed by Last Lap Motorsports in 8th. Racing League Romania, who have withdrawn from the series, are in 9th place, followed by Race Green Autosports in 10th, who are unfortunately also not able to compete due to a lack of drivers. 8-Sex Motorsports are in 11th, and rounding out the dozen is Scuderia Gas Racing Team with their GT1 effort in 12th place. In GT2, the points are, spread out as much in total, obviously, having only had one race, but chances are the championship's going to be somewhat closer. We've got Last Lap Motorsports winning the biggest race they've ever won, most probably, in round 1, leading on top. Core Racing's number 77 effort, who led a quite large proportion of the West Tour race, in second. Sonic Realms Racing, who are also one of the teams who did not make it through to round 2, in third. Iron Club in 4th, number 88 car. Then Last Laps Motorsports' second GT2 entry in 5th. Fast and Crazy Sim Sports in 6th place, followed by both the Team Virus cars, 54 and 58, the XR and FZR, in 7th and 8th. The second Sonic Realms Racing car, the FXR, in 9th. World Class Lines number 61 in 10th. 11th is A-Sex Motorsport. In the XR. It's World Class Lions and a second entry of theirs in P12. P13 goes to R-Force, followed by Absolute Beginners in P14. Mafia Racing 69 in P15. P16 is Scuderia Gas's GT2 effort. They didn't exactly have the best luck in West Hill in both classes, really. And number 72, Last Lap Motorsports' third GT2 entry, is in 17th place, with Savage Sim Sports in 18th, even though they didn't race, but they were allowed to keep the participation bonus due to the early retirement of a car and them not being able to race because of that. Core Racing and Wonder Girls have both not yet scored any points, and the latter of which have withdrawn from the series, so most likely won't score any in future either. Seeing as we're on the grid now in LFS, and to tell you who's in which place on pole, we have number 9 Genuine Racing's XR with a 106.041 041, that would be really fast, 41 even, 0.3 ahead of the next car behind. 29 Genuine Racing car, the second entry new for this round. Then also new for this round, Dynamics Racing, in with a 2-car effort, 1 in each class, third in GT1. M5S Racing, again, good, strong qualifying performance in P4. Then P5, Infinity Esports Racing, who have, well, let's say a relatively different lineup, even though it's not actually that different, but it feels very different this round. Conquest Racing's number 8 FZR in P6. P7 goes to the new entry, Corsa Motorsports. P8, 25 Last Lap Motorsports FZR. Then the new team, Nitro Velox in the number 30 FZR. P9, Scuderia Gas is P10. And from the pit lane will start Conquest Racing's number 7 car after having missed both qualifying sessions. In GT2, LLM 52 on pole, followed by the 77 of Core Racing. Shocker horror, we've seen them in that order before. 61 of World Class Lines behind them, followed by the 70 of Dynamics Racing, 88 of Iron Club, 69 Mafia Racing, 53 FNC Sim Sports in 7th. 8th goes to Team Virus, number 54 XR. 9th goes to Savage Sim Sports, number 56 XR. 10th goes to number 55 Asex Motorsport, followed by a number 64 FXR of World Class Lines, which is followed by the number 59 Genuine Racing FXR, so double bus action here. 72 is Last Lap Motorsports in 13th, followed by Absolute Beginners in 14th. Team Virus number 58 in 16th, followed by LT Racing in 17th. Core Racing's number 66 effort does not seem to be here, so yeah, it doesn't look like they're gonna race, but well, we're pretty much around the last corner now. The front row forming up, everyone in formation. All Genuine Racing front row. It's very close behind. Turn 1 could go one way or another. And we're just a few seconds away, and we're in the green flag for 6 hours of Blackwood, and Dynamics Racing gets a very good start over the second Genuine Racing car, and they may lead into, well, they may snatch away second position. Oh, and there's been contact between both, and he sent the Genuine Racing car to the gravel. But there's barely any time to relax, because we already got the GT2 guys doubling up around the last turn, and there are plenty of those around today, with Jordan Lavrikov on pole, and also they're getting now a green flag. Very good start from Lavrikov, again 3 wide for P2 between WCL, Core and Dynamics. Lavrikov keeps the lead through turn 1. Seems start have gone relatively clean, a little bit of a problem in GT1 there, and well, this track is only 1 minute 8 or so seconds around, so it won't be too long till we see the first lapping maneuvers. Due to that contact, the 29 January car lost quite a few spots, now down into 7th place in class, and overall by that matter. Also, Jacob Cooper with a bit of an off. He had quite a few wheel issues before the race, so I wonder if it's related to that. Let's hope not. And coming around the last corner, we have a Core Racing car very much in pursuit of that black and orange LLM GT2 entry. Again, a much larger GT2 field, 17 cars in GT2, 10 in GT1. It's for sure not gonna be easy to get through that first round of lappery. Also quite almost a single make series in that GT2 class on its own. And we've got Guider from Conquest number 7, from the Conquest number 7 XR coming through the GT2 field now after obviously having started in pit lane. And he's already having a tough time negotiating those cars on the non-straight parts of the track. Meanwhile, we have no one lesser than Then Dennis Lind, it seems. Yeah, of course, Dennis Lind. Who else would make up like 7 positions at the start? Now in 3rd place, slowly trying to gain time on the 2 leaders, which are car 9 and 10. Jenna and Dynamics respectively. And this is pretty much the phase of the race where everyone's trying to, well, just find the spot where they're at the moment and just stay there for a second and calm down and get into a rhythm. So not too many battles for now, but well, we've seen that change throughout the last race. Ooh, quite a big battle for 18th overall, which is, I think, P6 or 7 or so. In GT2 we've got Durelli versus Botev, both in the XRs. And Botev's definitely got the slipstream. They're now too wide towards the chicane. And Botev should have the upper hand, has the inside line there, good enough overlap, so that's that place, well, gone from Durelli. It's very tightly contested, the GT2 midfield, especially with so many XLRs, it's just so evenly matched. Everyone's got the same material, and well, those 2 FXRs just at the back of the mid-pack, they're trying to cling on for, well, for a few spots at least, if some of their colleagues in front of them do something wrong. Oh, and Durelli under more pressure. He's now from Xabates from the 55 ASEC squad. Oh, but he makes a bit of a mistake, so he might as well just find himself being attacked by Martin Kapau right behind him. Oh, and the Jenna FXR's going for it. And it turns gun and they're going past Martin Kapau on the straight. It's not bad straight line speed for an FXR. Through the last sector, land the last hairpin, and well, onto the start-finish straight, where obviously the FXR is the most vulnerable. Oh, and the Kapau attacks him again. Hopefully that'll go. Hopefully that'll be half okay throughout turn 1. No positions changed. So yeah, and now Kapau has to be wary of that. Oh, FXR behind him, that of World Crash League. Well, not World Crash League, they haven't been called that for about a million years now. World Class Lions, I apologise. Ooh, and further up at front we've got Betis against Esa Mikola from Iron Club. Going clean past with the draft. I think there are probably only more DRS affected passes in LFS as there are in Formula 1 these days. Yeah, Dynamics getting a spot there and pulling away straight away. Meanwhile, Kapau and Tanskanen are at it again. This time Kapau with the inside through turn 1, and he indeed does get the spot, but maybe the FXR traction through that first sector will just get the better of him. And now we've got leading cars coming up to the GT2 field for the first, well, not for the first time, they've already been through part of it, but through the thin part of it, now it's the thick part. And we've got Turkle all over the back of Tuskanen. And they're now approaching the LLM car, 2 wide, 1 either side. Oh, there might have been a bit of contact. Yeah, there was a bit of contact between Turkle and Kingsbury. And Daskinen's boxed in and lead change. Dynamics now leads through the chicane. Oh, and where the hell did Matt Kings come from then? He must have had an off-road excursion to the pit lane entry there. But yeah, lead change. Dynamics now leads from Genuine Racing number 9. And Dennis Lind, who negotiated the lapping so well last round, he is getting boxed in left, right and centre. Just has no space to overtake anyone. Oh, and there has been contact between... Oh, that's another car that's causing yellow flag. So yeah, there has been contact between Telkele and Lochtenberg for the 73 Absolute Beginners GT2 entry, but they're both still pointing in the right direction, so can't be that much harm done. We've got Taskin and him still fighting away. Oh, and we've got the Gen IFX weaving across the road there. Oh, and oh no wait, hold on. There's too many cars on my screen. Telkele, I for a second thought the GT2 was Telkele, but it isn't. Oh, they're both getting squeezed there on the entry, well, on the entry for turn, whatever turn that is. And, well, the lapping continues for the GT2s. And the GT1s! Oh, when you crisscross lines in those lines, you're not gonna make friends.
This is danger. What the fuck was that?
Meanwhile, through that whole kerfuffle, we have Dorelli, Kapal, and Malmivari now together. Malmivari, sorry. In the FXR, who, well, he's just being bombarded with GT1s at the moment. There's one car coming by, that's Campini for M5S. Now we've got Piotr Goik going past for Conquest Racing. And the two XRs in front of him are just playing around the straight like it's their favourite free time activity. Ooh, bit of two-wheeler action there from Antivalta in the number 29 car. This lapping is really a lot more intense than I thought it would be. I have Dorelli again being attacked, not for the first time, obviously, since I said again, in turn 1 by Kapal. Oh, and he catches the inside curb, almost ran wide there into Dorelli, now has to let the 29 car past. Gets a little bit of draft off him actually to go back to Dorelli. Oh, again very similar at mid-corner speed, but just a bit of a too big slide from Dorelli there, so Kapal should easily have him this time. There we go, pulls a few pulls ahead. Now 2 car lengths ahead, so that's his spot easy into the chicane. Oh, and there's a lot of contact between, oh dear, number 59 FXR and, if I'm not wrong, that was Teres 55 A6. Oh, and we've got Goik now trying to fight against Campini. That's GT1 battle for P4. Both very yellow cars, but obviously, well, easily to tell apart by the fact that they're 2 different car models. Now, Goik has to draft off Campini, but there are quite a few GT2s ahead, so that might affect things. Here we go, Goik pulls right ahead of him. And unless that GT2 breaks about 400 meters too early, that's going to be his spot. There we go. And Campini doesn't just give up like that, but doesn't exactly have to drive out of that last corner of that turbocharged XR. It just takes about half a calendar week to spool that turbo up if you're in a slow turn. And well, lead change that occurred earlier. Telkele pulling away now in the lead, and obviously it doesn't matter too much at the moment because they're not really in for the championship right now. Because obviously they missed round 1, so they're missing some quite important points, you could say. All very close again for the lead in GT2 between 52 Last Lap Motorsports, Jordan Lavrikov and Axel Falk for the 77 core racing car. As Isaac Price joins us in the commentary box. Hello, Isaac.
Hello.
What are you up to then?
Well, obviously supporting my teammate for this race, but other than that, here to watch some good racing, hopefully.
Yeah, and some very chaotic lapping at the moment.
Yeah, I sort of came back just as it was all kicking off. It was quite scary to watch.
Yeah, you see, that's the thing. At the moment, there's absolutely no consistency in how long battles take because they're just all being broken up again by lappery.
Yeah.
I mean, just a second ago we had Falk and LLM bump to bumper, and now they're a couple of car lengths apart from each other.
Yeah, well, it was only a few laps ago that there was a battle for the GT1 lead, and now it's like 5 seconds or 4 seconds.
Yes, indeed. It's a bit up and down, but that was to be expected from such a small track with such a small difference between GT1 and GT2 lap times, and well, so many cars of the slower class, especially. So yeah, it's really just a patience game right now. I mean, the only car in clean air right now in this very moment is, well, yes, it's Telkele who's in the lead for in GT1, but everyone else is in traffic. Well, GT1 feels slowly getting through it, but won't take long till they hit the wave again.
Yeah, it was really one of the keys of this race, really. I think everyone's going to have a few moments with the back markers. That's what it looked like to me when I watched it just now. It looked like really impossible because you're closing up on them so fast before like the braking zones, and then if you brake a fraction later than them, you'll crash into them. If they brake a bit early, trying to let you through or something, and you have no idea what they're going to do. So
yeah, indeed, it's. Well, in that respect, well, actually, I was going to say it's like Lime Rock Park, but Lime Rock Park is much better for lapping than this.
Don't know about that.
Well, judging from ALMS, it is. At least I haven't seen as many almost crashes in the races as so far. But yeah, it's certainly, if you're just coming up to a GT2 at the entry of turn 2. I mean, that's okay, but really those very short straights, like the first chicane to the corner onto the back straights, that's where you can't really pass them without completely sacrificing any kind of line you were going to take through that corner. And just very, very time costly. I don't think anyone here is doing the pace they had in practice, like, well, especially of the GT2s. GT1's probably not as much because they have a little bit of power to sometimes keep them out of close situations, but the GT2s they sometimes have to jump aside, like I don't know, Pastor Maldonado was in the rear view mirror, so
yeah.
Oh, there was a bit of contact from Axel Falk. Continue.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think there's sort of a couple of guys who are doing their practice pace, but the majority have all sort of struggled to get into their rhythm, because, I mean, when you're lapping cars, it doesn't just hold you up on that lap, but you have to change your braking points for that lap and stuff like that, and then you have to put speed back up again, etc. So
Yeah, it's pretty time costly. It's not exactly an easy job to do this for 6 hours. I predict there are probably going to be more concentration related driver changes here than there were at Westhill, because Westhill is relatively easy. You get in the groove, but it's just a little bit different than Westhill.
Wow. Just imagine how I feel. I didn't start practice until like 3 because I was doing iRacing stuff, and then.
Kingsbury and Torelli both trying to win the European Rallycross Championship there in the runoff zone.
Kingsbury's a 5 out of 5.
Well, could be, yeah. But Dorelli's pretty much holding everyone behind himself up. I mean, everyone who's overtaken him so far has gone on to pull away within no time. And
looks like he's got no grip.
Yeah, it looks really like he's got. Oh, come on!
Rear of him.
That wasn't the way it's meant to be done. And now Torelli is instantly side by side with Lochtenberg, and judging from where he has placed his car, he's definitely gonna lose. Oh dear, please don't go 3 wide into 1. Oh, and there's a bit of a lag crash, and Torelli goes straight across turn 1. Does anyone collect him? Oh yes, there we go.
He's stuck now though. I think he's stuck.
Yeah, he's stuck. That's for sure. Well, if he gets out. But
I think there's going to be a safety car for that, surely.
Oh dear, that one's. Oh no, wait, the rescue car is coming, but. It's just gonna
go across the whole of turn 1. There's a car coming in.
Yeah, well, he's lucky with how and he's gonna drive into the wall. Alright. Oh well, good job I'm not paying the repair bills for that car. But yeah, GT1 grids for once actually in a bit of free air. That was really one coming from a million miles, that incident. That was always going to happen with 3 wide into turn 1.
Yeah, that was coming.
Especially with someone who's got a slightly dodgy connection like Dorelli has, being from South America and all, who haven't exactly got the greatest of pings to Europe. But if we can avoid a safety car here, it's gonna be for the good of everyone's nerves. Just the problem is there's a little bit of free space. Oh, holy. A lag hit between the rescue car and Dorelli, but I think, yep, he's made it out. Just. Now he's just gonna get it pointing into the right direction again. Like, of course, he's lost about 1 million places in the lap, pretty much. But, well, better than if there had been a safety car, because then he probably would have lost even more laps.
Yeah, well, kind of one of those things. Sort of luck of the draw. It's good that they can avoid the safety cars, but it's obviously bad for the people who end up getting stuck in the gravel. Oh
yeah, but I don't think. Well, a lap here is so short. I don't think the difference between being stationary under a safety car or on the green flag is that big, because the average speed of the track isn't really that high.
Except the fact that they couldn't recover him as quickly because they had to wait for cars to go through, not to push him into the racing line and stuff.
That's the problem. No, not exactly a massive runoff area there.
Luckily, Dorelli sort of realised what was going on and moved himself out of the racing line once he got pushed back onto the track.
He quickly took his opportunity. And Mr. Jonathan Palmer reports his mouse went off the green. He was mousing off the effing screen, quotation marks over. Is a problem, I presume.
Well, yeah. That tells you one thing: don't drive with mouse.
Hence why I'm not driving, because I haven't got a wheel. I was actually looking forward to driving this, because I don't know, I kind of enjoy what the GT1s have to go through here, which is being very patient and not necessarily driving to 101% and blah and blah and blah. But well, it was not to be, and thanks to DHL being completely incompetent, I won't have a meal. I will have a meal before Monday, but I won't have a wheel before Monday. So yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, well, we seem to have opposite thoughts there. That I would be quite happy not to drive, and then you'd be happy to drive, but I have to.
Isaac, I have done 7 stints until 1.5 weeks ago. Not even counting that time in. I have done 7 stints for this race.
Please.
I wouldn't care if I drive. But yeah, talking about the actual race again, Lavrikov and Falk together again. Well.
And the GT1s are about to start lapping the GT2s again, so.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be terrific.
Might cause some more carnage.
Let's hope not. Although, to be honest, that carnage caused there was mostly among GT2s themselves, so... yeah, can't really blame the other classes. Also, interesting to see that, well, Dennis, personally at least, just seems to be further away from the XR performance than he was at Wester, which is quite odd, because you'd think the circuit would suit the car a bit more than Wester. I mean, he's driving around in P3, no doubt. He's not exactly driving slow.
Kingsley just pushed the GT1 leader off the road.
Oh well, he's gonna make himself even more friends. Yeah, he lost a few seconds there. Yes, it did. He might just, well, a little bit of damage resulting from that. Oh, and Kingsbury goes off the road himself while it lets him through the second time, so... Oh, there we go. Looks like Durelli has been in the wars again, a little spin or something. But yeah, usually this is the time where we should get to the Formula 1 topic, which is, of course, the tyres, and the tyres aren't actually that big of a thing around here. Since, well, mostly, almost all cars in the field are on R3 all round, except for maybe some of the GT2s. FXRs obviously have the chewing gum R2s on the back, but otherwise, not really them.
Can run R2, R3 here as well.
But yeah, but none of them is. They're all running R3.
That's some nice setup regression right there.
No setup progression. I can see why, you know, I mean, if you're gonna lap cars all day and you're gonna drive in dirty air, maybe you're just gonna be off better with being able to lean on the front a lot and everything.
To be honest though, looking at this, it looks like the lapping cars is actually helping the tyres quite a lot, rather than the other way around, because everyone's running off pace.
Exactly, because they're keeping the pace and the cornering speeds down. As Niki Dakovic joins the server in his Virus GT2, guys. I hope that's no pit stop coming there, otherwise...
Isn't that his usual tactic, that he just randomly joins the server the whole race?
He only does Home City League and then GT1 World Series.
We did it last race as well.
Oh, did he? I didn't even know. Oh yeah, he did! Oh yeah, he did!
I remember Free ID kept doing it.
I don't remember. Someone did it last race, but yeah, I wouldn't want to be quoted by on it. Oh, you have so many similar XRs. Well, so many XRs just makes it hard to tell battles apart, because suddenly you have GT1s in between. Top 3 in GT2 is quite nicely close together. As Lavrikov gives Garcia a rub there in his GT1 car, so does Falk. Be a bit patient, guys, come on. No need to get suspension damage of another class's car. Already bad enough if you do it to each other's cars.
Well, that's common sense, but common sense doesn't apply when you're racing LFS, you know?
Well, you might as well, you might get a Phantom 4, oh no wait, it doesn't happen in this game. I have to say, I didn't know what a Phantom 4X was until last year when I experienced one.
Yeah, that happens
This-
a lot.
It's fantastic. You just mind your own business and suddenly you've got wheel damage. You're like, no. But the game says, yes, you do. But yeah, it seems like the closest battle we have is that top 3 battle in GT2. With 52 LLM, 77 core racing, and 70 of dynamics races.
How can you not know my team?
Because I could say why I could honestly say why it took that long, but yeah, it's, I don't know, for some reason, the name of the team in my mind is Inex, and it just won't go out of my head.
Did you say Inex?
No, I said Dynex.
Oh, that's what I called it as well. That's okay.
But yeah, it doesn't look like there's too much of a pace difference. Sometimes gain and loss between those two front-running cars there. I just hope neither of them toasts the engine this race, because that could be a problem even here.
Yeah, well, LM are having another strong showing. I mean, Axel's been around a long time, so they're obviously doing something right if they're beating him.
One of them, yeah, exactly. And it's for sure what they're not doing right is running with purple wheels, because that just looks bloody disgusting. But, well, in my opinion, they should have a penalty for that.
In your opinion, everyone should have a penalty for not being Gennaro.
Isn't that fair?
No.
Well, that's what the FIA did with Ferrari. No one
Are
could
you
play.
Ferrari?
No, but we could put a Ferrari badge in our car, just as close as it's gonna get. Maybe people are still a bit hot on their heels from F1 qualifying, which ended a little bit late. That could explain some of the road rage we're seeing here.
Well, I had to miss the end of F1, otherwise I would have been even worse when I have to drive later on, so... I had to go and do some practice, you know.
Oh yeah. I wish I could do that.
I wish I could watch F1 quality.
I didn't see that either. So yeah, we're balanced on that. Do you think anyone's gonna do any funny strategies other than just 1 hour stints under normal conditions here?
I don't think so. I think it could be possible in GT2, but I don't think anyone will. Because I mean, there's probably going to be a safety car at some point, so I think the funny strategies will come in if there's a safety car at a weird point of the race that might spice things up.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I don't think it'll happen in normal conditions, but I could be wrong. Although I guess some people will vary their stint length of doing the same strategy though. I mean, GT2 is sort of, well, and in GT1, both of them can sort of go longer on their stints, so some people might do, you know, a couple of laps extra here and there, but depending on who's driving it and stuff, but...
It's a useful thing to do because it just gives you a little bit more room to play if there is some occasion where you have to change the strategy, because you're not desperately trying to make the hour. You can say, oh, I can do an hour 5 bar, well, or we could shorten the stint or increase it or whatever in case there is a safety car, but Deco asked me last night and I said there would be 3.
I guess it depends how strict he is about the gravel thing, but I would have thought with so many XRs and one FXR in the field as well, I would have thought at least a few cars would roll in the last corner.
Oh yeah. I think that's more likely than people getting stuck, as there is a battle
it's already happened once.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. I already forgot. But yeah, Kapal and Tez are fighting, Asex and Savage, and that's another car that's gone past Tez train. Oh no, wait, that wasn't the Tez train, it was the Durelli train from earlier. Okay. I made a mistake on that. But yeah, the rally train kind of eliminated by a bit of lag.
There's about GT2 leaders are very close now. Axel just slightly tapped into the back of LLM there on the entry to the last corner, but he was very close before that.
They've done that at least half a dozen times by now. He's got the draft, but he's got the draft at a very peculiar spot where you don't want to have it really. Gotta brake early, gotta make sure you get at least some air onto that front spare. That's one of the things at Blackwood reverse. You can charge up very easily to someone and then be completely gobsmacked by how much time you're losing because of the dirty air. At least that's from my experience.
Well, if the car ahead doesn't make a mistake, it's very difficult to, especially at least in GT2, it's very difficult to stay close enough to be able to do anything. In GT1 it's a bit easier because much higher wings and you've got a bit more power to sort of help turn the car when you're in the draft, but
yeah, definitely, but
in GT2 it looks very difficult to overtake. I mean, I've seen Axel be really up behind him and hasn't been able to do anything.
You think they may be running slightly lower wings in that LLM car?
It's possible.
Could be, but it's not too much. Maybe it's just a click, maybe absolute maximum too.
Looks like Axel's running a lot higher right side pressures though, so definitely aren't.
But I think they probably have a much easier time with mechanical grip right now, because their tyres are pretty nice. Nice and green throughout.
Might be another reason why they can't pass. And right, Matt Kings wants a safety car.
Oh, what has he done now? Please don't tell me he's upside down. And he's upside down! Congratulations, LLM! And Matt Kingsbury, safety car 1 of the day. I might win my bet after this race. Upside down in turn 8, which is the last corner, and that must have been 1 flip and a half, because he's actually rested against the tyre stacks quite far away from the chicane. So, yeah. Not really worth pitting now though, because, well, it's 1 hour into the race and cannot be sure yet whether you'll get that stop back, so unless you're far back and you're trying to turn things around one way or another.
It depends where you are in the pack, because I mean, if you're sort of bottom half, you're not gonna lose that much. But if you're sort of one of the front guys, then it's a different question.
Exactly.
Because you're gonna put yourself into the traffic and cause yourself a potential issue there.
I mean, it could even be, well, beneficial in quotations to pit now if you're in the bottom half of the field, because then you're gonna fill your car up and you will be slower than the guys in front of you. So that means they'll pull away of you until they pit, which means you run in clean air and you might be able to overtake them later. But if you're in the top half, then, well, that's track position you don't want to give away. That's just, well, one of those things.
Safety car, 2 more cars, and then you can go.
Gonna take a little bit of time for the leader to catch up the safety car. Nice grey and yellow safety car. There we go. Yesterday Turkle hour, right on the back of that. Multitasking and joining him in a minute, and Dennis Lind. Very, very interesting. Oh dear. Gonna be very interesting to see what Dennis Lind can do after that safety car, because he's usually one of the ones who's quite aggressive after the restart. Aggressive on the tires, tries to take his chances, tries to overtake. And he's got a car right in front of him there. That's foot position, so
I think FZR has an easier time on the restarts as well. It's it's better on traction, so the fact that the tyres are so cold, it doesn't hurt them as much.
Yeah, exactly. Especially because obviously, well, the traction advantage comes from the fact that it has nice wide rear tyres and all the weights at the back.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, that's going to be the thing to watch out for. I think, especially both classes. But I think both classes are going to be struggling because they're both on quite hard compound tires, so they'll pull a lot on the straights.
Especially the GT2 XRs on those R3s. They need really every corner to put low through those tires to keep them warm enough for the stint. And the fact that they are now getting quite a nice peak where the tires will cool off could make things a little bit adventurous. In theory, you could technically allow yourself to pit in those cars in the GT2 XR, because power wears relatively little. We're already 40 minutes into the hour, so wouldn't be the end of the world, not in any way, shape or form. And the GT2s are making quite... Oh my god, for a second I thought Ray Kingsbury was going to crash into the whole new safety car queue, but luckily that's not happened. Quite a lot of tyre warming going on there, same in GT1. Matt Kings is still enjoying his Jack Sedgwick Memorial holiday there in the last corner. Lying upside down a bit. All the GT2 cars being waved by one field. Basically almost all the GT2 cars, I guess. Gonna be a relatively wary process. Takes a few minutes, probably gonna be barely off the hour mark by the time we're done with this. But yeah, we're under our first safety car here in the 6 hours of Blackwood for the flip of number 62 LLM car of Matt King's Prix. It doesn't look like... Oh no, wait, we have 25 LLM, they pitted. No one else did so far. And I can see why it makes sense for them, because they weren't exactly leading the class.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're further back, you've got less to lose and you've got more to gain, because obviously once you've pitted, you'll then be able to go a lot further in your next stint, so you'll have a lot of laps where you're faster.
Oh yeah. Exactly. In a way, it's also quite useful for the GT2s to be waved around. They're getting a chance to do some higher paced laps, not get more temperature, but to retain a little bit more temperature in their tires. Because obviously these aren't Pirelli super soft, which heat up within one corner and are worn out within two. So you need to put a little bit of effort in to make sure they stay nice and green and warm and sticky. While everyone here in the safety car queue, that's the word I was looking for, is already doing testing for Gymkhana 7, because the way they're drifting about, they're gonna be in the movie video. One lap GT1 between the leader and second in GT1. Calculate going left and right and right and left and left and right and center and up and down and diagonal and crisscrossed and everything to heat up his tires on the straights there and through the corners. Always scares me a bit if there's a bit of lag, because it just always looks like spinning off the track, crashing randomly into things.
Yeah, especially as well when you're sort of going up and increasing and decreasing your speed so much. It's very easy just to drive into the back of the car ahead of you when they're sideways and just give them that final tap.
Yep, that's done. I remember in my very first NDR race, in my very first league race ever, I was actually put into a wall on the safety car by a weaving car. And I enjoyed that experience a lot, it was fantastic. Just that reassuring feeling that you're surrounded by professionals. But yeah, it seems so far everyone's kept it going straight enough to not spin off the track and lose a spot. A lot of very cold tires throughout the whole of the GT2 class, really.
Safety car in at the end of this lap.
Safety car is gonna withdraw itself at the end of this lap. It's gonna be a bit of a handful for Virus to catch up. I don't think they will. They've just pitted with their 58 SLR. I don't think they'll catch that up. Not in a week full of Sundays. Maybe they will, who knows. But it's seemingly unlikely. Dorelli also in the pits getting his car fixed. More unlikely to catch the field up. Safety car has pulled away from the leader. Yasutoka Lifor Dynamics Racing now in control of the grid. And he can go when he pleases to. Not gone yet. Oh, and there's been a massive... oh, what on earth was that all about? Just people crashing into each other?
Green!
But we're back on a green flag. And Gracia instantly getting out of the way, letting that train of GT1 cars by, but quite a big hit there from Dennis Lind into the back of the number 9 Genuine Racing car, and he's attacking immediately for P2. Yasutoka away again with a relatively comfortable gap for now. Oh, contact again.
He's got a lot better tyres than Otto, so it's an easy pass right now. But
I wonder what's caused that.
Grip he's got in every corner.
Oh yeah, he's gonna have to draft here on the back straight. Unless he's running backwards high wing, but it's not looking like it. He's got the draft now. There we go, and he makes it around the outside. But meanwhile free wide in the bottom of GT1 for 8th place there. Omelfanger gets it, he's just pitted in that car, so that's very good for him. And there's Gaida in the number 7 Conquest Racing car, yeah, it's Conquest Racing, and then Campini. Lavrikov has got a few cars between him and Falk now. And Wisniewski is all over the back of core, so let's watch that into turn 1. Gonna be no less exciting. Oh, and Wisniewski misses the braking point.
How is there no contact there?
That was precision work.
It's really good driving by both of them to give each other enough respect, not to make just giving each other the exact right amount of room. It was lucky as well, but
yeah, lucky as well because Wisniewski missed his braking point just a little bit, and to keep it out of that core car was quite something. And behind we've got and Mikola gets collected by Tez. What on earth was that all about? Almost flipped him over. Well, which is more down to the nature of the cars, but wow. At least he got some nice right rear tyre heat from that. Wisniewski and Libiti is now again side by side, or close to each other at least. Kind of compressed that whole top half of that GT2 class again. As if that class wasn't close enough already. That's what you need to just make it even more closer. Oh, and in GT1 we have battle for P4. Jenna 29 versus Conquest Racing FZR.
XR's got more top speed, so should be done before the corner, but it looks like they're actually evening out on top speed now.
Yeah, it's pretty even on top speed. Neither car's edging ahead, but Goik obviously has the inside line.
And the better brakes of the FZR, using it to his advantage.
with wannabe Porsche brakes there. That's the advantage for now.
And that let Otto off the hook for GT1 there a little bit. It seemed like he was struggling with his tyres.
Yeah.
Just a bit before that, it gave him a bit of a breathing space.
Yeah, he's not exactly got the hottest tyres in the world, but
Yeah, well, it
they're slowly recovering.
looks like right now it's playing towards the FZRs because Dennis is catching up Yessi right now, and before the safety car, Yessi was quite easily the fastest car on the track. So
Yeah. But you can just see it from looking at the F9 menu. Dennis's tyres, rear tyres, especially nice and green surface. He'll enjoy a ton more traction than the other cars around him. And well, he doesn't exactly have a ton of better turning, but he's got very, very good brakes, and I think that's what's going to make the difference here. And LLM, the leader in GT2, is still fighting with Gracia, who's actually a GT1 car, who doesn't seem to gain any ground on that car whatsoever.
the GT1 car, its tyres are ice right now, so
Yeah,
you can see why, but it still shouldn't be the case.
Still shouldn't be the case. I mean, at worst he should lap at least a second faster than that LLM car there. I mean,
Well, last lap he was 1 second faster, but
just about though. Out of the last corner, it was still pretty close.
it's very easy to do though. If you just don't heat your tyres during the safety car enough because you haven't quite got the confidence of the car, before you know it, your tyres are ice and you can't heat them back up again no matter what you do.
Very nice to heat the tyres up last year at Blackwood in GT1 World Series when there was a 45-minute red flag. That was beautiful.
Wasn't that halfway through the stint as well?
No, that was not that far off a normal pit stop, but I remember we pitted, we had fresh tyres, and your team pitted as well. You had fresh tyres, and they were just black when the red flag was over. Pure black. That was just horrible to drive.
Luckily I managed to blank that race out of my memory.
Oh yeah, because Jenna won with the red flag in a red car.
It was more to do with the way that my teammate decided to tell like a few hours after the deadline to swap drivers from the second team to the first team that he was ill, so that I had to drive with the backup GT1 driver. Wasn't the best situation.
And again, 55 v 56, Savage versus A6. Onto the back straight, and Martin Capel should have the draft. This is for one of the positions in GT2, I'm pretty sure. P7, I think.
Meanwhile, in GT1, it looks like the XRs have got their tyre temperature back. Yes, they're pumping in the fastest lap of the race there.
Oh, and
Otto also caught Dennis that lap as well, so seems like the FZR isn't, or at least in Dennis's hands, it isn't the faster package around here, but sort of on the restarts and sort of all round, it seems like a car that you can do a little bit better on the restarts and stuff like that. It's a bit more drivable.
I think I have the impression, that it seems to be, you can just handle it that bit more aggressively at the restart when the tyre temperature isn't quite there yet than the XR, and I think that's probably its biggest advantage, because you get more tyre temperature quicker.
To be fair though, I think he did a better job than the two guys ahead of him of keeping the tyre temperature. I think he must have started heating, as soon as he saw that there was going to be a safety car, I think he started heating his tyres, because he had a lot more surface temperature before the start on the restart than anyone else.
There's a nice lag cloud, and it's disappeared now, but also it's the Jagadits 58 Virus GT2 car, which is driving around on its own with a one-man show there at the back of the field. after not being able to catch up with the safety car. Meanwhile, Santos for the 77 GT2 LLM FZR into the pits for a stop and go penalty, which
He was exiting a closed pit lane, but then he got another one after he served the penalty.
Let's hope they tell him how to serve the penalty, because otherwise...
Yeah, he must have just tried to pull away from his box when... Because obviously in LFS, it doesn't actually force you to stay in your box when you've got the stop.
Oh! Tuskinen passed Dennis Lind, and Dennis Lind almost flipped in the chicane, and, well, he's now, again, rally crossing for the last corner. Well, not again, I haven't seen him do that before, but that's that position loss for Dennis Lind.
Luckily for Dennis, the FZR is a little bit better on its two-wheel antics than an XR. So.
Oh yeah, but
he must have made a mistake or something, because he was quite, like, I could see that it was sort of...
Well, he's made quite a few mistakes.
But it didn't look like that was about to happen, so...
Made quite a few mistakes in the last few laps, getting the grass here, sliding a bit here.
Well, obviously, this track, it's very easy, like, it's very easy to lose concentration, and once you've done that, it's so easy, you drive onto the grass in one corner, then you've got grass in the tyres to the next corner, you run onto the grass again because you understeer in the middle of the corner or something, and then it sort of snowballs.
There we go, going past Dennis Lind. Will he be able to fight back before the chicane? No. Sounded like a very, very open diff on power from Conquest Racing there onto that back straight. You could just hear the inside wheel spinning up. I guess it isn't that bad if it's in left-handers, because the left rear tire isn't exactly the one that wears the most here. Yeah, it looks like we've restored our running order pre-safety car. We also have a little GT1 battle between Jake Cooper and Damien Guider of Infinity Esports and Conquest Racing respectively. But looks like that battle might be over sooner than it started. Although Campini's coming up to that fast enough. They haven't exactly had the best race in the world either, M5S in the last round. Might as well just... Oh, they maybe just be in for gaining a position there. Looks like... yeah, the SZR's pulling away from them, so they're running very high wings. Oh, and contact! And then the wall and through the tyres, so that's that overtake for number 4. Also, nice bit of left rear damage, which I'm sure they won't enjoy, even though it's not the worst corner to get damage on this track. But that could have definitely gone better. Not the first overtaking attempt today. We've seen that could have gone better. But it's for sure one of them.
To be expected here, though. The track's so narrow, it's so difficult to overtake. You get drivers, because the damage model isn't that punishing, you get drivers sort of just chuck it in, and if the other guy turns in, well, that's his problem. So
yep, although
drivers getting frustrated from being stuck behind a car and stuff. It's
quite weird, because it's not exactly like LFS doesn't allow you to pass relatively easily once you get the draft.
Indeed. It seems like it's mainly the GT2s that are the ones that are making the contact, and the draft doesn't seem to be as effective there, so that could possibly be why.
Well, GT2 lead battle is back in action. Core v LLM v Core, 52 v 77.
Seems like Core's been a little bit faster the whole stint, but they haven't been able to find a way through.
Yeah, they just... But they always have...
in that last sector, they seem to close up a lot there, and then... But then they make a mistake somewhere else around the lap, and lose it again.
Or just make a mistake because of the aero loss of the car in front, or because they've tried some kind of pass and it's gone wrong. that kind of pattern so far as we hit the 1 hour mark. So.
And there's a car spun in the last corner.
Oh, who could that
Ray
be?
Kingsbury.
Oh, that is yeah. And he's hooked onto the curb.
But he's smartly waiting for the traffic to go.
He's waiting for the cars
but
to go by.
But he could just drive forwards and then just be able to turn and just go straight.
Oh yeah, that's true actually. Or he could just do this, which is way more costly. But works as well.
I think, you know, when you've been in someone like him, he's probably as much bothered about just not ruining someone else's race than sort of, for him it's probably about surviving when you're
I think so. I think so. He's almost a lap behind the car in front, who is, well, almost 3/4 of a lap behind that car in front of him. But yeah, they're not exactly gonna fight for the win. I think, personally, I think this season will be very different from what we saw in GT1 World Series. Not just because of the different classes, but obviously also it already seems to have a different character to it, that it's more on-off kind of series to do than where every team that signs up commits for the championship, as John Lavrikov pits from the GT2 lead, which finally releases Core Racing. Let's see whether they can do something about their being stuck behind that black and orange and white and colory LLM car. They're back out, and they're gonna come out right behind, well, not right behind anyone, but they're coming out behind Jagadit, so, and they did change drivers. Now Lagukas in the car. Whereas when it comes to pit stops with the Estadar, they actually might have had a good idea to pit under the safety car there, because they're gonna get a lot of track position now, and they're gonna go deeper into the stint. So just opening up their strategy a bit. Dynamics GT2 into the pit, Core Racing GT2 into the pit. GT2s before GT1s, just the other way around than it was in the last race.
And the GT2 second place, Gen R, is pitted as well.
Well, we're past the hour mark, so it's pit stop time.
Yeah, I think everyone's going to be a bit cautious as well. They don't really know how much tread they've got, because their tyres it's not something you practice, having a safety car halfway through your stint. And when the tyres are cold, you don't really know how much tread there is, because you can have quite a lot of tread, but it can wear very fast if it starts scrubbing. But at the same time, you can have not much tread at all, but it not scrub, so you won't get a puncture. So
Costa takes over from Lee Beatties now. Haskinen stays in the car, and that's only one of a few of many pit stops we'll see in the next few minutes. Can become quite crowded here because the lap is just so short, so many pit stop laps will overlap with each other. So may just get a bit more crowded. Circular in the pit lane from the lead in GT1. Martin Kapow in the 56 Savage Sim sports car. There we go, off again. He will rejoin. It looks like he will rejoin behind Rommelfanger, who's obviously pitted on the safety car as well. But now we're seeing a lot of cars that have pitted on the safety car rejoining ahead of those who were in the lead and stayed out. It's quite logical. Dennis Lind has also been to pit lane already.
Indeed, it'll be interesting to see how that strategy works out, because I mean, because the safety car was out for so long, they actually didn't really lose that much time. Like, they didn't lose that much time to their stint length because of the way that they probably barely wore their tyres under that safety car. So if they can just extend their stints by like a couple of minutes each time, then they might actually.
Oh, and the 29 race, the 29 genuine racing car in with a right front puncture. So puncture number 1 of the race. Mr. Pitbox. There we go. Conquest Racing also in with a small number of fewer punctures on their car, which is none. Still a few cars are really stretching it here. I mean, look at Dominik, he can still, do a few laps on those tyres. Very good tyre wear.
Dominik's always been good on his tyres, as long as I've sort of remembered. I remember sort of when he was in 3ID, they used to do quite long stint lengths.
But he always had to do the long stints.
Yeah, he seemed to always be very good at getting a set and getting himself fine-tuned sort of in that groove where you're still doing decent times, but you're not heating your tyres barely at all.
Yep, he also into pit lane now. The Mountain, of course, the Motorsports also into the pits. They're obviously also new entry for this race. Not exactly a lot of continuity when it comes to the GT1 field from the last round to this one, is there?
Yeah, well, I mean, 3ID sort of, they did qualifying and then decided that they didn't want to race for some reason, so.
I guess they didn't have a second driver or something.
I don't know, it seems weird because I remember that R2 was talking, like he messaged me something about the race like 3 weeks ago, so I don't really understand, but 3ID sort of don't want to sort of beat up on them, but it seems to be something they do a lot, that they do like a race at the start of the season and then quit, or do a race at the end of the season once everything's sort of sorted out. They don't tend to do the whole season, if that makes sense.
Oh, in LFS, no.
Yeah, well, obviously iRacing, they're a different beast, but yeah.
And we have Campini still staying out, so Cooper and Campini, they're trying to set a distance record on the on a set of tyres here. Campini, he hasn't got any tyre wear. I mean, I know there's been a safety car and everything, but he hasn't got any tyre wear. Not exactly setting the world alight with his pace, but well, not exactly a lot of tyre wear either, so. Oh. Adam Wisniewski is currently leading, also hasn't pit yet in the number 54 Virus GT2 car, followed by Tehes and so on and so forth. Jagoditz, first car who did pit under the safety car though, is practically the effective leader of GT2, but Falk isn't exactly far behind them, so gonna be very interesting to see how those strategies turn out, because let's just presume there isn't another safety car, then the likes of Virus GT2 on their R2, R3 set, they can push the hell out of that, don't even have to make an hour, and don't do any more stops than everyone else. Or effective stops that lose them track position and time. Nevsky in the pits, Tears in the pits, top 2 in GT2.
Looks like Yessi for Dynamics is about to be overtaking LM for 3rd place.
Oh yes, and in the Mika Hakkinen style. Holy moly.
That's the second move he's done today like that. He passed for the lead in GT1 earlier on, the same sort of way.
Oh, that's nice. It's not risky at all, is it?
It's definitely a scary thing to watch your teammate do.
Oh, I've watched my teammates do scarier things, trust me.
Yeah.
And I've done scarier things like roll the car.
I've done scarier things earlier today, so let's not talk about that.
Oh yeah, I remember you told me. I won't talk about it because I could tell it, but it would have so much inaccuracy in it. I better not.
Yeah.
But yeah, Campini looks like they're gonna. They could even really save a stop if they go on like that. Interesting if they're gonna do it. Cooper's tyres, right rear's all looking a bit second hand by now. Probably can't be too far from a visit from the pits. 1 hour 10 minutes exactly gone in the session, not in the race officially, but in the session. And well, we've got pretty much oh, Dennis Lind! Oh my god, Dennis Lind almost crashed himself out using LLM. Holy excrement. Just cut across him for the first corner into the braking zone. And LLM 52, they're under massive pressure now from Falk, who's past them.
But if he
how
stays
long?
close enough, he might be able to get around him onto the straight. Well, Axel ran a little bit wide, but it looks like he got enough of a good exit to...
Looks like Lucas was a bit too close on entry. He should have maybe delayed that a bit. Now Ricardo Costa is approaching from behind. For the Dynamics GT2 car. Jake Cooper pits now, as predicted. Which only leaves the 04 M5. Oh, there's a spun car on a straight! It's Virus! What on earth happened there? It's Jagaditz has spun on a straight! Or, well, maybe he spun out of the corner, but he spun in like meters away from Blackwood. That's lost him a huge amount of places. That probably ruined his strategy for now, because... well, I don't think it was planned to be like that.
He'll be in heat peaks, so yeah, it'll hurt him a lot now.
Also, depending on how many flat spots he put on, especially the front tires.
Depends though, if they weren't really trying to extend the stint, because obviously they're harder on their tyres, then it might not really make a difference from the flat spot point of view, but it's obviously it doesn't really matter what their stint lengths are, as long as they get to the right point.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're within their own class anyways, within the FZR GT2 class, because technically there should be subclasses, looking at how many XRs there are in GT2. There's also, as you predicted last round, a GT Gen R class now.
Indeed.
And well, how many class? What's the minimum for a class, for an imaginary class?
I'm gonna say 3 because you've got 3.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna say 2 because you're driving for a team with 2. Yeah, not exactly a lot of race. Stretched out relatively quickly for that whole lapping business again, at least within the classes. Dennis Lind making contact again with a lapped car. That is the 64 WCL car, the second car in the bus division, for today at least. In GT2, Rob Lochtenberg for absolute beginners still hasn't pitted because he is on diamond tyres. I think he could go on till the next hour mark on those. That's what happens if you put R3s on a SZR. Where did Axel Falk get that damage? Exactly. Because he's got huge left side damage. Well, maybe that's worth some research. Maybe someone can let us know here why a car suddenly looks like a banger racing car on the left side. I hope it's not contact involving any cars around it. That would be very displeasing for all parties involved. Also, Costa made it past LLM 52, so they're now down to 4th in class, effectively 4th. Technically 5th, because Rob Lochtenberg is, as I said, driving around on his titanium tyres. Which are, I mean, you really wouldn't believe how much tread they have left. That's at least another 15 laps minimum. Red alone, depends on how much fuel they have. At that, they just brimmed the tank and went like, oh, let's see how long we can go with this, boys. Being passed by Piotr Goit now. Oh, and a message from race control. Car 04 will be issued a drive-through penalty after their pit stop for the blank license plate, which, well, has to contain team name or team tag. It contains a whole lot of empty space instead, though, and well, that's not allowed. So they'll be very sorry after that. Also, oh, another one of our tyre veterans pits. It's Mikola for Iron Club. A little bit pit box misses the pit box there a bit. And he was actually the effective leader of GT2, not Lochtenberg, sorry. But yeah, now Lochtenberg becomes the effective leader of GT2. And the real leader, as in the leader that has been already, is Nikitakovic in 54 white orange Virus XR. Behind that, it's pretty close. Fact, Jagadits for the other Virus car is at least still. Oh, there's. Oh, and a problem for the number 61 just went clean into the wall all on its own. It looks like. Oh my God! It is going across the track. Oh, and he's I would 100% say that's a wheel failure there. That looks like a number 1 5 out of 5 wheel failure there for WCO as they become the first retirement of the day, which is really a shame. Second retirement of the day, I'm being corrected. Obviously, Matt Kings was the first retirement of the day. We've also got someone on the laggy side, which is him actually, Mr. the apparent wheel failure. But I don't think they'll be allowed to continue because they started from on track, so that's game over for them. They can't go on now. No matter how nice they're asking, or how nicely they're asking. That's that date done for them. They've been told not to rejoin the track. And that's game over for number 61. Meanwhile, Bob Lochtenberg, with 1 hour and 18 minutes gone, is still out. Is well, it's blowing my mind in a way or another. Currently don't really have any battles on track.
And to answer your question, well, what you said about that LLM in GT1, they actually pitted under safety car, so they have.
Yeah, I know.
So
I know they're
not
pitted.
still out there.
I know they're not still out. I'm talking about Lochtenberg in the number 73 car.
Oh. Too many weird foreign names for me. Sorry.
Well, you actually raced in the same race as him, outside of this league.
Did I?
Yes, in OWRLF1.
Oh.
Where, thanks to lag, I T-boned him and he flew into the wall.
Good.
It was not my fault, I promise.
I don't understand how that can not be your fault. You T-boned him.
I didn't, but let's say I LFS registered and I T-boned him. I was at least 10 meters away from his car. It was a Phantom 4X. I unfortunately don't have. Well, maybe you can still get the replay on various file sharing sites, but I promise you that was not. I did not touch his car, and yet it flew off the track.
I believe you. I believe you.
Yeah, I bet you don't. And drive-through now handed out to car number 4 for an incorrect license plate. Because as everyone knows, all license plates in NDR competition must have the text Deligaf on them. Not true. And Rob Lochtenberg finally pits after 1 hour and 20 minutes. And well, give away that GT1 lead. Car number 77 now into the wall out of the chicane. Now he's got symmetric damage. Oh dear, what's going wrong for him? Almost looked like there was like his control switched off for a second. He just flew into the wall.
Isn't it like a core tradition to damage their car a lot during a race? They've got in some way, like last race they had to break their engine, and now they have to just put massive damage on them.
Can you tell me where? Can you tell me where they've got that left side damage from though?
No, I have no idea.
Because I switched to.
Didn't they make contact with someone in turn 1 at some point?
Oh, they're making contact with Jay Cooper. So yeah, they made some contact there, but and they've broken.
And now their left side.
Now their left front suspension is well.
Maybe it can get away because I mean the GT2s once the sort of the very small heat peak is over, temperature-wise it should be okay. So they might just get it to a pit stop, but I imagine they'll have to do a damage repair once they get there. Which
will take about 20 years. In comparison to what you would like to do. Yeah. Although, it's not so bad if it happens on the left front here. I mean, if you can somehow find a way of getting it turned into the right-handers, which there are only 3 of on the whole track, then it should be okay. I somehow have the feeling that, even though you said they're gonna have to repair, I somehow have the feeling they won't.
Yeah, well, one of their drivers for this race just informed me that they're doing mid-race setup changes. That's why they crash and keep getting damage on their car. So.
Oh, what is? Oh, that's very nice. It reminds me.
It's very precise. It's like getting a hammer and starting smashing the suspension to make it better.
Reminds me of Simon Cattell trying to drive into walls in LFS car to repair his broken suspension and break it even further.
Sounds like a good idea.
Yes. It very much was. But yeah, it doesn't seem like there's too much close action going on in GT1, so GT2 really is the place to be at the moment. Costa now much closer to Falk, who are coming up to lap the WCL BUS. A bad exit for, well, both of them out of the last corner, Falk and Costa. Kind of interesting to see that some of the GT2 XR teams are using, well, 4 gear sets effectively, because obviously you don't use 2 gears if you higher gears. Instead of using 2nd to 6th, you use 3rd to 6th, which is very me technically, and yet not even I would have done it.
Yeah, I think it's sort of as well though. With the XRRs, they usually sort of use the gearing almost to control the exits, because rather than controlling the throttle, they basically just use the gearing to sort of choose a gearing that doesn't. So I mean, you keep the turbo spooled because you've got full throttle, but yet you're not getting wheel spin.
But up to this day, I could swear that in the XR, the higher the gear is, the smoother the kind of power delivery and torque delivery is. Which is kind of why I always used to use those kind of higher gear sets at South City. But it's relatively odd to see it around here, because traction shouldn't be much of a problem with all these cars around here. Oh, South Korea coming through.
But the power band is quite low in the XRR, so
Yeah, it's a diesel wannabe. Not quite that low actually, but well, not exactly miles off. And Falk makes a little bit of a mistake going onto the back straight. And Niki Dakovic is lacking a bit, if you ask me. But I could be wrong. He was chittering about there for a minute. Doesn't seem to cause any harm at the moment. Oh, and Falk's upside down! Falk's upside down, and that's Core Racing's race! And that's gonna be safety car number 2!
Safety car boards and flags. Safety car boards
Safety
and flags.
car number 2 is out.
Chicane.
Again, same spot, same chicane. Oh my god, and that's another GT2 car eliminated. Oh my god. Well, I think Core Racing won't get any more damage now. I'm relatively sure about that. Yeah. What can you say? At least they've tried. Is half the deal nowadays. And trying is always rewarded. But not this time. And well, that's another DNF in GT2, which means that we are now down to a total of 13 GT2, so that's also a way to balance the car mount class by retiring a lot of one class and a lot of the other. That'll be yet another round of whose tyre is coldest. Calculator now at the back of the safety car, driven by Pierre Baker. Yeah, it's relatively bad. Wonder if we're gonna see more pit stops this time. Technically no, because we're even less far. That makes sense into the hour than last time. Only 27 minutes into the hour. Is well less than half an hour for most people on the tires. Less than half an hour. Still. Therefore, I carefully. Apart from the people who are off sequence already, not many will pit. There's again a lot of going on. Oh, and Ray Kingsbury is drifting across the grass and almost making people coming up behind him crash. Close. Could have gone horribly wrong. And Sebastian Wojkowiak joins for Infinity Esports GT1. It looks like they're looking for something else, to do something different. Lots of cars being told to overtake safety car queue, so... Lots of cars, when I say lots of cars, the GT2.
It's one of the frustrating things at the moment, sort of having to sit around waiting. The safety car periods are a lot longer than they should be, just because of the whole
around,
GT2
yes.
wave around. But
Yeah, I have to say, last season in on World Series, the safety car became relatively slick once we got rid of the wave arounds. But
the problem with that, the difference then though, was that it was GT1
all
being waved
GT1s,
around.
yes.
Whereas now, at least they're only waving around the GT2s, so it's sort of, it's if anything good. It's something they kind of, it's more important that they do it now. Whereas before it was sort of
Well,
less.
it was all the same spec car, so
Yeah.
you won't get let up that easily. Yeah. Kind of a bit. my ideal vision of a GT2 and LFS would be maybe max 100 horsepower less, 100 kilos more weight, and third of to half of the area of GT1s. But well, I can dream get those figures into an official class years and years and years on thought, and I won't get any. At least the Assetto Corsa already has GT2. That's a whole new topic.
Yeah, don't get me started on other sims.
At least, well, it's actually. Oh, LLM didn't pit. LLM GT1 didn't pit, even though they're off
Safety
sequence.
car in next lap.
Very interesting, but they seemingly have enough tire tread left, but just the fact that they're there could.
I think they sort of had the idea that they were going to try and get back, and they weren't going to lose a pit stop. Whereas if they pit now,
they're going to lose a pit stop. Yeah.
But I think you're probably right that they should have pitted, but.
Yeah, maybe. I think they maybe should have, simply because
their tires are colder than everyone else's, plus they were out of position in the first place, kind of.
Yes, and plus, if you're gonna do something different, do something completely different, because now you're just gonna continue doing what everyone else does. Might not be... Oh! Well, I think... Did someone go off the road there? Oh yes! R14's in the wall!
This restart should be a bit more interesting this time, though. Otto's a lot like the last time. There was a lapped car in between Gen R and
yes,
restart waved off. Restart waved off.
The restart's been waved off for a lap now, so
yeah, thanks to car 14 being very intelligent, and with that I mean the opposite. Please don't clout any of the GT2s, please, please, please. As car 72 almost clouted into the GT2s. There we go, car 14 again. Where it belongs. But looking at the tires of the 25 LLM car, that thing is going to be a mobile chicane on the restart, which we won't get now. I hope people realize that. Also, if you are, well, what's the word? Well, if you have anything to do with any of the teams racing today, feel free to come here into the comms box. I'll need your company, because, well,
Tom's going to be left all by himself soon.
Gonna left all by myself. Because Isaac's gonna go and drive.
Yeah.
And
the GT1 race has become a lot more interesting once I'm driving.
Yeah. I don't. We're yet to see which way you're interpreting interesting, but well, I'm looking forward to it.
Surely, if Yessi does lead distant, we won't be leading at the end of the next hour. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, a lot of weaving going on there, everyone going left, right, left, right. Anticipation of the restart. And car 11 has just had a little bit of an off-road excursion there. Not the major one that 14 had though. Safety car pulled away. Guess the Turkle again in control of the field. Safety car is off the circuit, so he can go now whenever he wants to. Trying to wide line through the last corner. And he's gone, and we're back to green flag.
Green flag.
Oh, and Goik and Dennis Lind instantly in battle. Oh, and Robin Thunder, oh my god, what the hell? Dennis Lind passing him on the grass there. Wow. Oh, well, we would predict he didn't have any grip, but...
Yeah, he's got... His tyres are blue, stone blue right now.
Got no grip whatsoever. Oh dear. Yeah, he is really being a mobile chicane right now. And Bartolotta goes to the inside of Conquest. They make contact. R14's in the... Oh dear, they're 3 wide, 7, 4 and 29 are 3 wide on the back straight. Or they were for a second. Now Jake Cooper's coming in, there's 5 cars close to each other. That can't go out. Oh, and Cooper's flipped! Cooper's flipped off the track and he's taken the wrong route! And Conquest is off the road now! And they're rejoining right in front of the GT2 pack! And Costa has to avoid them! And there's Flores as well now, and he's been turned around by Niki Dakovic almost! What the hell is going on in this grid? That was a crash waiting to happen, and that's retirement number 3. No, that's retirement number 4, I think. Yeah, number 4. From Infinity Esports, they're taking the wrong route. They'll have a word to say about that after the race, I'm pretty sure. And they will not at all be happy about that. 2, after the restart, Costa's leading. Lagukas is 2nd and Dakovic has dropped to 3rd place. The Jenna FXR, believe it or not, is up to P4 in class. Right in front of the other FXR, but only on track, not in positions. Wow, what a restart. That is unbelievable. And, well, to come back on it, the offer still stands. If you're a team member of a competing team, feel free to come here, ask for an interview. Just make sure you PM me on Speak, on the NDR team Speak. I'll make sure you get into here. But yeah, Car 06, that's quite a blow to them, really. They were still on the lead lap 1.5 hours in, which I think was probably their main goal for the first few hours, and the fact that they're out now is quite a shame. When we've got Bicycle on the back of Niki Dakovic, FXR versus FXR here. Side by side they are. Down the back straight, Niki has the inside though, how will it go? And Jenna breaks a bit later and they gain the place. 3rd in class now. And Virus put down into 4th. That's quite a position change there. FXR doing better than many probably were thinking before the race. And well, in GT1 again stretched out, relatively stretched out after a restart again. Flores is just as earlier struggling like hell with those tires. They're just stone brakes, riding around on them like it was nothing in the, well, like there's nothing left in those tires grip wise. You know they've got quite a bit of tread there, so he's gonna be able to generate some temperature in those and not hold up the GT2 leader again like earlier. That's not what car class is intended to do. Yeah, we've got total of 23 runners left of 27 starters. We've got 3 times as many GT2 as GT1 retirements, though. So, talking about attrition rates, who come first, or who's on top of that, which class? Relatively civilized now, though, from both classes. But then the interclass lap hasn't started. Might just all change again after that phase. Commentary box now is, well, joining me in the commentary box now to start that is a retired racer, which is of course Michael Schumacher, Kleidas Kasunas. Hello, Kleidas.
Hey everyone.
So, what are you up to? Days.
Winning a race
Winning a race, where?
in GT2. I mean, winning a race as a teammate of the guys who win.
Oh yeah.
Because I have an occasion to drink a lot of beer.
So yeah, you've been quite a while since you've been driving.
It's I think 1 year.
Yeah, it's one year and a bit.
My final race was 2012 LFS Scott final round.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly. I thought for a second it was a race which I didn't do because I was busy driving around with punctures on those. Yeah, what do you make of the race so far? It's not exactly a standard race, is it?
I liked the fashion how Infinity made it out of the circuit. It was like, whoa! But yeah, it
that was
spectacular so far. I hope we won't run out of action next hours.
Yeah, if it goes on like that, we'll run out of cars first. Especially in GT2. But yeah, Infinity's exit quite something. Probably the best flip I've seen this year. However, not with a very good result though.
It's the best flip I ever seen in LFS, not counting what I used to see in oval races in Kyoto 200 or 500.
Oh yeah. Well, I obviously don't have to say which team you're from. As WCL rejoins the track after a small trip to the pit lane and a driver change. WCL FXR edition, that is. But it's quite clearly, as I said earlier, one of those switch on and off championships where half the teams racing are kind of, oh, I'll do this round, I'll do that round, but well, let's see about the rest. What do you think about that? Do you think that's just current state at LFS, or do you think that's kind of how it's been back in the days? TM, and it's just kind of trend that's returning.
Well, honestly, from my point of view, if you sign up for a league or championship, please do all the rounds. I'm not up to, I don't like this track, let's not do the race, or just things like that. Well, I could understand it if you don't have manpower to fill one car, but yeah.
I suppose that's one of the major causes of that trend returning. I think. I mean, we see Dynamics running with six drivers spread over 2 cars, and half of them aren't actually in the team. So yeah, I think it's kind of almost a privileged situation if you can manage to field multiple cars as a team. Still only have drivers of your own. Not many teams do that. I mean, I don't even think people like Conquest do it, because they've got the Zion logo on their car. So I guess not all of their drivers are actual Conquest members, unless they're really just funny and want to run around with other teams' logos nailed to their cars. That's not exactly something you saw in the past. Much.
Well, as soon as they are dedicated to do all the rounds, I don't care from where they take the members or drivers.
It's always one thing or another. I mean, we have a timeout for car 55. That's Asex. Previously also a yellow flag. I'm very sorry. Every time I drink something, just afterwards, I cannot talk whatsoever. I apologize many times for that.
Also, talking about the same topic, currently the LFS is doing new things that we have, like a set of course, and people are asked to do things the old one, like LFS. So it's pretty natural. I honestly hope to climb over it when we get the new specifics in LFS.
Yeah, that's kind of the nail-biting thing, though. From what I can tell, you're currently located at a Korean butcher where they're chopping up a dog right now. But yeah, that's the Pandora's box effect, because you have LFS with the fantastic netcode, which yet to be reproduced by anyone. I don't think anyone's done it. And you have stuff like Assetto Corsa coming in with the most brilliant of graphics I have seen in a sim so far, and with the fantastic cars, laser scan tracks, all beautiful. I think the biggest problem with that game are really the sounds, but that's just a very, very minor point compared to what other simulators are suffering from problem-wise. But it just doesn't have the multiplayer. It doesn't even have AI or any option to have a race. You can't even race against yourself in a race session because there are no race sessions, and
Well,
hard to get it right. It's hard to get it right as a programming team. Get a simulator as close to what you think it should be like as you can, and probably a lot easier sounding than it actually is.
Well, I'm so eager to try it, but as people may know, I sold my wheel and I have no possibility to do it. And whenever
having no wheel and not trying things, tell me all about it.
whenever I see a video of Assetto Corsa or someone speaking about how good it is, my mouth is full of saliva and why did I sold my wheel? I want to try it.
Yeah, that's the effect it seems to have on many people who can not run it, because that's quite a lot of people, unfortunately. It is quite resource hungry. Brand new graphics engine from Kunos, and well, let's say I bought a new PC this year, and once we actually get to the point where we have multiple cars on track, I think I'm gonna be in a little bit of trouble. Just. More or less trouble. And it seems to be a problem as well with DirectX compatibility. I have it really with words today. I'm very, very sorry. As we have the closest cars I think we have now is 52, 59, 54, which is LLM, Gen R, and Virus in GT2.
Dennis Linden bits.
Yep, Dennis Lind in the pits. Strangely early, actually. Did he blow a tire or something?
Maybe over aggressive in tire bombing when safety car was in the track, so it might be some kind of over toasting it.
Well, it didn't look so bad actually under the safety car earlier, although he's now given over to his teammate Palmante now, who's contributing to the clutch barbecue they're currently having in that car. Oh, don't flat shift, please don't flat shift, don't do that to me. Sounds so bad. And actually is bad.
Well, we talked about the problems of LFS people being inactive, but I'm pretty impressed because I see quite a lot of old guys from old days I can remember, like the very same Paul Mante, Michael, 59 GT2 driver, which is apparently our team member, V8 star, Nicky. So it's maybe not that bad. Some people still manage to enjoy the old, outdated simulation.
Yeah, it really seems like it. Some people just won't go away. They're like, I don't know, things that won't go away. Like Pirelli in F1, they won't go away, unfortunately.
Ooh, 52.
Oh no!
Carlos ran pretty wide in the chicane. He lost a place to 59 Gen GT2, and now Nicky's on his tail.
Yep. Two very orange cars. Nicky just the inside, should have the advantage. Yep, and he goes past. Unless he can counter that. Whatever. But yes, overtaking GT2. GT2 is well, I'm driving through the tires there. But GT2 is really where the overtakes are in this race, and it certainly doesn't seem to stop for now.
Also, pretty impressive for 59 Gen GT2. They started in 12th place, I guess. Now they'd be 2.
The bus, yes, bus class, but it's qualifying it didn't look at it at all, but yeah, it's they just stayed there on the track. They didn't hit anyone, and that seems to pay off. The same for all the other guys that didn't hit anyone early on. Yeah. Causing yellow flag, R6 is that's WCL having a moment or two in turn 2.
I'm actually pretty impressed about the lapping standards in the race. I couldn't find any Shamazel or GT1 guys having problems.
There have been a lot of close ones, but very few actual massive accidents. But yeah, be relatively satisfied with how things went so far, and also to continue our interview theme, have Elvis Presley. Hello Elvis, how is your stint so far? You've been in the car, and how did it go?
Hello. It did go quite well. I was very surprised that I actually didn't roll my car, but for example like LM did.
Yeah, it seems to be a theme that many people who come out of the car seem to be very surprised about that, because well, a lot of people are trying very hard to do so actually, to get their car upside down or downside up or left side right and all the other things. But how do you experience the traffic and the safety cars, the cold tires? Surely it it can't exactly make things easier.
Well, the traffic is, in my opinion, is quite large, I guess. In the first lap it was a really big struggle just to get moving on forward, as the GT1s were passing me. And safety car of the procedure was quite fine, I guess. Didn't experience any problems with that.
So obviously, your squad is new for this race. Do you have any intentions of trying to achieve some specific championship position, or are you just gonna look what rounds you can do and so on and so forth?
Well, it would be obviously be nice to get on the podium, obviously. We don't really have the aim to really go for the podium, but if we'll have the chance to really do it, then we'll pretty much go for it. So far it's really, in my opinion, looking quite good for us.
I'm sorry to interrupt. 64 VSL has spun.
Yeah, on a straight, yes, and they also have a drive-through penalty for overtaking under full course caution. And
also
55. Yeah, 55.
With a drive-through penalty or causing an avoidable incident with car 88, which is
Iron Club, that's Iron Club.
Yep. And they are under attack by 69 now.
Oh, holy moly. That's a...
3-car action.
Not a direct attack even. Oh yes, it is, yes it is.
For position.
It's for position.
69 now in front, if he can manage it. I think he's got it, yeah.
Yep. 69 Mafia Racing, obviously the people who had already already built a nice castle out of sand in turn 1. They've inspected that Lewis Hamilton-sized gravel trap there very nicely. Although the fact that they got stuck there wasn't their fault at all. It's just a very unfortunate incident, which is partly related to their origin due to the lag they have from where that's involved with that kind of location there in South America if you're trying to race on a European server. And no, wait a second, it wasn't a direct fight between them, because yes, they did overtake, but Iron Club was a lap ahead.
Ooh.
But they're still basically still almost a lap ahead. They're gonna go all the way around to actually make the place up to them. So yeah, I was very surprised for a second, I guess, because the safety cars happened. I thought, oh, they must be on the same lap again, but obviously they can't be.
That was a little confusing.
There are some cars really at the back of each class that are like, oh my god, how can they be so far back? But well, it's just the way races go sometimes. Everything that's wrong happens right at the start, and what's also going to happen now is a little break in the stream just to put up for on-demand viewers, since we reached almost a 2-hour mark and we don't want to miss the round of pit stop. So if the stream stops, make sure to just press play again. But in usual cases it should automatically restart, so see you in a few seconds.